Hello, welcome to the House of the Spirit. Welcome home if you're coming from the meditation. I hope you enjoyed it. I made it especially for the Halloween season. If not, please check out my short section so that you can enjoy it before this reading. This reading is asking for advice from our ancestors, from our spiritual lineage. So we are going to start with the first pile. And the first pile has the signs Aries, Libra, Leo, and Aquarius. And your significator card is Meadowsweet. Our second pile is for the signs of Sagittarius, Virgo, Capricorn, and Gemini. And your significator card is Plantain. For the third pile, we have Scorpio, Cancer, Taurus, and Pisces. Your significator card is Matter. You can choose your pile according to your intuition or your zodiac signs. I will give you a moment and I will see you there. Welcome, pile number 1. If you chose this pile, you have the card Meadowsweet, and I am going to read a little bit of the text that comes with this card. This card shows bees gathering pollen from meadowsweet in full bloom. We also see blood-eyed. It's out of focus, sorry. Okay. We also see blood-eyed, this face that you see here at the bottom part of the card. Flower face, whose story is part of the 4th branch of the Mabinogion, the tale of Math, son of Mathonui. She was made of oak, broom, and meadowsweet by the wizard Gwydion as a wife for Llygives, but later turned into an owl. I thought this was very interesting, this transformation that occurs, because this card is specifically about transitions and celebrations, or celebrating transitions in a way that you get the blessing of the change. And the story of Blood-eyed is a little bit, it can be a little bit sad, of course, but it is about transformation. And she found a way to kind of trick her husband into doing something that was actually, I want to draw your attention to a spider that just came into the picture. Can you see it very small here? So we have all the animal kingdom and the plant kingdom here. So that's very animated reading, let's say. So this goddess, she changed into an owl eventually, and she was also called Flower Face. So she was a mutable character, and I feel like this is a time in your life where when your ancestors are calling you to celebrate something, even if it's something that is unpleasant, so that you can get the proper blessing, so that you can get the wisdom, the knowledge, the blessing from that change. Okay, I hope I don't squash the spider, the little baby spider that's around somewhere. Okay, so we are going to start with some tarot cards and some fairy cards. And then we clarify with the Wildwood Tarot. So what do your ancestors want to speak to you about? What is their message? Tabara of the Waters. Okay. Do we have more, or is it just one? Feels like it's just one. I think I'm going to get some Mystical Keeper too. Yeah. What do we have for pile number 1? Good Lady. Okay. Let's see what the tarot cards have to say. Possibilities with the Two of Wands. Receptivity, the Queen of Cups. Okay, now I understand a little bit better. What's the message here? The Four of Pentacles with the Miser. This card is, to me, is almost here in this reading the opposite of the Good Lady. Because the Good Lady is someone who has a lot to share, has abundance, has knowledge and wisdom that she wants to impart with you. And the Miser is feeling exactly the opposite. It's like feeling like you have to grab, you have to protect your wealth or your assets, your abundance from energies that are unpleasant. Silence. This is the Star card in this deck. Patience. The Seven of Pentacles. Maturing. Nine of Pentacles. The Rebel. This is the Emperor card in this reading, in this deck. The Emperor card in this reading. Interesting. Solitude. Okay. And guidance with the Three of Pentacles. So I feel like already there's this separation between what is going on inside and what is going on outside in your life right now. And I feel like this mismatch is the focus point of this reading. And it's like you had to see things in a certain way so that you could change the course of things. Or maybe, yeah, this reading is going to try to change how you see what's happening to you, because I feel like what's happening to you and how you feel and how you see the situation is maybe there's a mismatch there. There's a lack of information there, and I think that the irony here is that you have to turn inward instead of outward to get the information you need about that situation. The situation is outside of you. It's something that is happening to you. So this advice here from your ancestors is about something that is happening in your life. And they want to warn you about this difference. They want you to see something in a different way. They want you to let go of your worldview, because I really feel like there's this competition between what you want and what you need, or what you want, and how you have to achieve what you want. So the things that you have to do to achieve what you want are a mismatch to what you want. This is a really strange thing, because I feel like this happens when we are not really aware of what we really want. And maybe this reading is advising you to not be alone. That's the key here is, and that's very interesting. It's not something that you will discover by yourself. You have help, because the good lady is about also having help. But I think that because of this celebration and this transition that has to be kind of put into consideration, you have to accept something inside yourself that will make way, that will open space, give space for the process that you have to go to, that you have to undergo a certain process. And it's a healing process, and it's something that, it's like birthing a child. It's like, it can be yourself, but it can also be specifically birthing a child. So like making space for that child to emerge. It's also interesting, the cycles of the moon here. You have this waning, waning moon, full moon, and then a whole cycle. It's interesting, because I feel like this is not really talking to me about timing, but it's more like accepting the cycles, because I think that things will move forward and then move backward and then move forward and then move, it won't be like a steady progress where you're always seeing increments. Sometimes you can lose and then you can get more afterwards. If you keep working on your faith, on your objective, because the more you focus on your highest objective here, because this is working towards that objective, facing that star, the more you focus on that, whenever you lose, it will be fine, because it's the focus that matters. This is really interesting. And it's I feel like this reading is more psychological, because there is, I feel like with this blood I wed character here, there's loss somehow, maybe loss of confidence, maybe even in others, like losing trust in others, being how do you say, uncomfortable with others, suspicious, yeah, being suspicious with others, like, I don't trust you. You see her expression, like, I don't trust you with what's precious to me. I feel like she needs to look inward, to understand that suspicion instead of outward. It's more like, why am I in this situation, and not why the other person is acting in a certain way, because I don't feel like whatever is surrounding you is that bad. I feel like it's kind of, it's not irrelevant, but it's not that important. I feel like there's an inward movement. So your ancestors are telling you, just move inwardly. look at yourself more and less at what others seem to be doing and what they are imposing in your life, apparently. And because you free yourself by being more open, and the way you are more open is that you can't be like this character here and be open, right? You have to be able to receive. And if you're constantly protecting what you already have, your hands are, frozen in this position. You can't really receive. You have to unfreeze yourself. You have to let go a little bit so that you can open your hands. And it's like oh, but I risk losing. I'm constantly listening this wording, like these words in my head saying, I will lose and I don't want to lose. I am afraid of losing. There's this loss, this feeling of loss that has to go. Maybe try to listen to it. Why am I losing? What am I losing? Why do I feel like I'm losing? Am I really losing? Consider what makes you feel like that. Try to see the triggers in that feeling, and know that whatever you wish for, whatever you want is still there, is always there. You just have to face it, and it requires work. Maybe it is supported. You have people around you who are wanting to help you, and yeah, I feel like there's a need to communicate emotionally with someone specific, maybe. And this person might be a little bit overwhelming to you. It might make you feel like this, like you want to protect yourself. You can't really open up, but that way it will freeze you, and it will, if you are in that state of mind, you will freeze yourself to death. Like you will protect what you have, but you will also lose what you could have. And that will make you lose everything in the end, because if you lose sight of your dreams, of your hopes, of your highest ideal, you will not be moving forward. It's like you are frozen. You are not evolving if you're not allowing this to occur. So you are not evolving if you're not accepting that evolution has ebbs and flows, and that you move forward and then you move backward a little bit, and then you move forward, and then it's not exactly constant. And it shouldn't be like a defeat for you to understand this. Okay, so now I will get some clarification. Let's see. What do you have to look at right now? What is in your environment? The 5 of Wands, or 5 of Bows, with empowerment. The 10 of Swords, or of Arrows, with instruction. The Ace of Vessels, or Ace of Cups, the waters of life. The 8 of Cups, or of Vessels, with rebirth. And the Ace of Ace of Bows, Ace of Wands. I keep confusing this card with the Ace of Swords, but it's the Ace of Wands. The spark of life. Okay, so you have Tabara of the waters and the waters of life. I really feel like your emotions are the most important thing to manage right now. This is the advice part, I think. So managing your emotions towards this process that you're going through. Maybe it's you're studying something that is stressful. Maybe you feel like you have to be stronger and you can't, like you're forcing yourself into being something that you can't really, you know, feel comfortable in yet. You have to learn. There's work to do. And the advice here is that you keep your waters clean or pure, let's say. So keep your emotional state as peaceful as you can so that you can listen to the advice, so that you can listen to so that you can integrate the wisdom that needs to come. And when you change the way you feel something, if you change the way you look at things, you will change the way you feel about them. And recognizing that change is very important. Writing it down, some kind of ritual, speaking to someone about it so that it kind of crystallizes in your reality, so that someone can mirror that reality to you. It can be a therapist, it can be a good friend, it can be a family member, someone who is like a clean mirror, who is like the white mirror for you. You will change completely the scenario and how you feel about things. And that's when you will have more energy. That's when you will get the motivation to keep going, to keep working, because I feel like it can be a drudgery, it can be tiring, it can be repetitive, or you can enjoy the process. And the way you enjoy the process is if you start being less fearful, if you start feeling more confident, and if you start changing how you feel about yourself, maybe your self-esteem, maybe if you get help, because I feel like there's someone around you that wants to help you, and there's someone around you that wants to change this suspicious state. I feel like this is a trustworthy person. This is someone who you can rely on. So if you do have that person, you are so lucky and blessed. So enjoy it. Enjoy that blessing. If you don't, you should try and find someone, even if it's a therapist, someone who is neutral or who has a good, clean perspective on things, so that you can enjoy this pure emotional waters, so that it's not tainted. You can't have tainted waters, no tainted emotions here, so that you can get the motivation to continue. It can be that you are like a student and it's like the beginning of college and you're really stressed. You can't really see how you are going to take it. Is it the right place for me? Maybe this is all wrong. I don't know. You have a lot of doubts, I think. And it can be a new workplace. It can be something that changed in your life, like a separation or a marriage, or something that you're kind of uncertain, that you feel like you can't really deal with. Maybe it's too overwhelming, or someone in your vicinity is a bit overwhelming. I feel like you really have to take it slowly, get help, have advice, and someone who can kind of get you through the whole process and hold that reality for you. If it's a practice, if it's meditation or something, just keep your emotions clear. Keep that water clear so that you can keep looking to your North Star and understanding how important it is to keep that faith, keep that hope. This is what will drive you forward. This is what will get that motivation. And even physical health, with the Seven of Pentacles here, I feel like even your health is going to improve if you realize this ebb and flow, this move forward, and you know, sometimes it's 2 steps forward and 1 step back, and it's okay, it's fine. So yeah, thank you so much for this. If you also enjoyed the reading, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share the video if it resonated with you. I hope to see you again very soon. Bye. Pile number 2, if you chose this pile, your card is the Plantain. And Plantain is about tenacity and assertiveness. Plantain is a herb that is used in healing extensively around the world. It can even be put on wounds directly. So I have used it myself. It's really efficient. It's very powerful plant. And also an interesting feature in this card is the Kalainish standing stones. These are standing stones in Scotland. And I believe that one of those stones was used as inspiration for that series Outlander. So if you're a fan, this is a curiosity here in this card. So this card is about powerful healing power and assertiveness. So let's see, what else do we have for you? Pile number 2. What do your ancestors want to speak to you about? The Singer of Courage. Wow. And I feel like this card moved. Oh, that gnome. Interesting. Okay. What more do we have for pile number 2? What do your ancestors need to talk to you about? Pleasant letter. Good news coming. Okay. So now for some tarot cards. Let's see what the tarot has to say. The 10 of Swords. The High Priestess. The 7 of Wands. The 3 of Swords. Seven of Cups. The Magician. The Star. The Page of Swords. These cards, they want to come together. Let's see. The 5 of Wands. The 8 of Swords. And the Knight of Swords. Okay. So right away I see, excuse me, that there's a conflict here. There's something that you need to be brave enough to face. And this specific reading, this moment that your ancestors have created for you, has a tool to give you. And I feel like this tool is going to enhance how you face that situation. It's like confirmation that you need to face that situation head on. And you need to express your ideals to a group of people into this conflict that is going to be generated. You are the one who is going to structure things. And you have you have Page of Swords, Knight of Swords, Three of Swords. I feel like you have the key to solve a problem. And the key is about what you have dreamt, what you have idealized. Maybe it is going to be also a part of the problem, the fact that you have this idea and that people are going to fight it. It's going to attract unpleasantness somehow. But you have the key to change this. And I feel like this reading is giving you that key, because we have the High Priestess and the Magician here. So I feel like this moment, this specific moment, is going to give you that key. Now we are going to discover what that key is. With the pleasant letter here, it might be in some sort of communication, some sort of written document that is going to give you the missing piece of the puzzle. Writing things down. And at the same time, with that gnome here, there is a certain invitation of a little bit of chaos, so that things get a little bit shaken. And maybe that's the whole point also, is that you mediate chaotic relationships, and that you allow people to be chaotic so that they can kind of let it all out. So creating maybe the key, maybe what you are going to do is to be the brave one, to be the most courageous one that steps forward and creates a space where people can allow themselves to express themselves, to be a little bit chaotic, like playfully, but at the same time express negativity in a way that is conducive to reorient the whole process, whatever this is, the whole process in a constructive manner, in a way that everybody wins in the end. Also, another interesting thing here is that the High Priestess is represented by Persephone, and she is going into the underworld. And I feel like there's something very important in this movement that she's making. Maybe it's going downwards, under something. It's like moving under something is going to change it completely. And it's like, I feel like you're going to make a detour into a different pattern of operating. So instead of the Seven of Wands, you have the Five of Wands. And the Five of Wands here, you can see he's so brave. He's facing the dragon instead. Okay. So facing the problem instead of arguing amongst each other. Interesting. So this reading is giving you the power to understand what is underlying the situation, facing the problem directly. We are going to see what the problem is. It's something that requires courage and understanding, because with the Ten of Swords here and the Seven of Cups, I feel like there's illusion and confusion in your mind or in this situation. There's a lack of clarity here. And with all the swords in the end, I feel like this is facing the dragon is going to bring you that clarity, and it's going to illuminate the situation. It's going to bring the light of this star into the situation. Okay, so now I think we have to understand a little bit more what's going on here. So I'm going to bring out some clarifying cards. So clearly you have to be brave enough to face something, but it's the right thing, not to use that confrontational power, let's say, to create more conflict between the people who are in this situation. Facing the problem. Facing the problem. But why is this confusion? 10 of Swords again, so to double 10 of Swords. I think this confusion is just lack of action and too much thinking, overthinking, and over-analyzing things. It's just overthinking. Yeah. 9 of Arrows. With dedication. Yeah, I feel like it's the way you direct your attention. So directing your attention to this underworld, to what is below the surface, is going to allow you to apply your energy and your intention. So having all the tools being directed at the right thing, aiming at the right problem. The Queen of Stones with Bear. I really feel like you have to be the authority in this situation, and it's a gentle authority. It has this feminine energy to it, like nurturing, I will take care of things. And I feel like people will look up to you. This is the way it should be. So you should take that power, and you should be the one who people look up to for advice and for having a coherent discourse about what's happening, holding that reality. The 6 of Arrows or of Swords, so a lot of swords again. Okay, so what is this dragon? This transition here, I feel like this whole situation is going to change something else. So, but first, let's see, what is this dragon? What is this dragon? What is the real problem here? The 3 of Vessels with Joy. So I feel like whatever problem this is, it is about how people connect to each other and having this honesty, this real feeling about things. Understanding how other people feel clearly also about things, so that you can harness the energy to transition, to move forward, to travel maybe even, or to transform this completely, to turn this around. So I think the real problem is, how are people expressing their feelings towards each other? Are they balanced? Are they honest? Are they being somehow suppressed? Because with the 7 of Wands here, I feel like there's suppressed feelings. And that shouldn't be. You have to face that dragon. Suppressed feelings, no more. Yeah. And what is this? All this information in the end, what is this about? Wow. the ancestor he or she came to your reading and is saying that this information is about an ancestor. So maybe this is also why there's a pleasant letter here that I say something written, some document, something that you need to focus your energy on. And maybe it's something that is really not obvious right now. It's something that you're not seeing. It's the underlying problem. It's something that is hidden, something that is occult. But that is the key to move on. And it's about relationships. Maybe it's a family member or an ancestor to whom you had a really tight bond with and a joyful bond with. And they have something to say. They have something for you. And what is this message here from this ancestor? What do they have? Okay, 2 cards came out. The Queen of Swords and the Green Woman. I feel like this ancestor is a female energy. It is a feminine energy, and it was someone very motherly. It could be a grandmother, it can be a mother figure, protector. But I feel like it's someone who gave birth. With the Sheila Nagi here, it's someone who gave birth. Gave birth to you or to your ancestors. And she has something to say. She has information for you. I feel like you have to study something from the past. Maybe you have to travel to do so. I think with the dragon here, it's like primordial energy. Maybe you have to go to your origin, the place of origin. So maybe where you were born, if it's different from the place where you live right now. And you have to get information there. You have to study something there. You have to get something from the experience of being there, maybe. But also with the Queen of Swords and the pleasant letter, I feel like there's a letter. There's something written for you. There's something that was left behind. And maybe it takes a little bit of courage to go back. Maybe it can trigger a little bit of sadness, maybe even. Or there's obsessing over some sort of detail, like emotional details, that it's not helping you move forward. And you have to you have to see what is underlying. You have to feel. There's a feeling of a memory here. And maybe it's a memory about stairs, going downstairs, going down the staircase and witnessing something, going down the staircase and realizing or understanding a situation. It can be good or bad, or it can be maybe people were fighting. I feel like there's a dream-like quality also here, like there's this reminiscing, there's a memory here that wants to come out, and it wants to bring you some information. So I feel like your ancestors are calling you to go somewhere, to see them, to commune with them. Some countries have the practice of, during All Saints Day, to go to the resting place of their elders and ancestors and commune with them, or to understand something there, or to take care of the place where they are resting finally. Maybe this is also important for you to do right now. So prepare that trip. Prepare that voyage, that trip to that place of communion with your ancestors. This can be something quite literal, like do them the honor to grace them with your presence, because going down the staircase, Persephone is going into the world of the dead, right? She is going into the underworld where the souls are dwelling. And I feel like this is also calling you to go there, because there's some sort of magic in that action of communing with your ancestors that I feel is going to help you to solve a specific situation in your life that is going to be a major step up, and it's going to be very important for you to change your mind, because I feel like there's a lot of anxiety and fear that is blocking your life right now. And maybe that is also the advice here from your ancestors, is that you have to be brave to face that travel. You have to be brave to face that change of scenery, and to also go to that place where, you know, your ancestors are dwelling, let's say, are taking care of, are protecting. And I feel like you will get some sort of message there, some sort of communication there in that place, that specific place. And with the standing stones here, yeah, I just realized, you know, in our tradition, we usually use the standing stones as a placeholder, as the place where your ancestor is resting, right? It can be that. But also, because I said in the beginning, this is the the stones that inspired Outlander. And if you've seen the TV series, you know that when the main character touches the stone, she time travels. And I feel like maybe this is exactly the message for you right now. Like, if you touch that stone where your ancestors are, you are like immediately transported into this underworld, into this different dimension. And there is a message for you about that. And going to that place is very important. Physically going to that place and understanding something. Facing the dragon. Facing that challenge. If that is not the challenge, if it's not moving to that place or facing that loss or facing that situation around the place where your ancestors are resting, I feel like they are calling you to do something for yourself so that you are guided by their light. And that has to do with facing this dragon, facing some fear around relationships, around specific relationships in your life, or a fear of expressing yourself fully, because with so many swords here, I feel like there's a communication issue here also. And expressing yourself, expressing your sorrow, even expressing that sorrow is very important right now. And know that you have this beautiful, nurturing figure, nurturing character that is protecting you from the other side of the veil. So what a beautiful, beautiful reading. Thank you so much for this. If you also enjoyed the reading, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share the video if it resonated with you. I hope to see you again very soon. Bye. Pile number 3, your significator card is the Matter. And I'm going to read a little bit of the text that comes with the card. The card shows a madder offering its flowers to a hummingbird moth. Sorry. Hummingbird moth, which thrives on its nectar. A strip of cloth dyed red with madder hangs as a kluti, a prayer token, from the elder tree above. A goddess figure inspired by the Bulgarian goddess Bazarchik, left as a votive offering, rests in the stones beneath the tree. This card is very interesting to me because it's very much about blood and the signs of blood in our life. I'm sorry, my voice, I'm grabbing some water. I'm so sorry. So this card to me is quite visceral. It is about the movements of blood, the constitution of blood in our life, in our body, how we use our blood. And this is also one of the meanings of this card is also transitions in our life, such as, changes in our hormonal system, changes in our blood, such as puberty or menopause. I feel like this is also urging us to consider how we use our life force, because this is also the card of strength. This card talks about having to have the strength and resilience to face adversity in your life, to face something in your life, and to continue. This is also why it's so vital and so important to consider the constitution of our blood, right? Because it is our strength, like the amount of iron, the amount of minerals, the amount of nutrition that we have is also going to condition how much strength, how strong we are to face whatever is happening in our lives. And this is because the madder, it has this red dye. And of course the red is also a symbol of the goddess for many reasons, but it can be this obvious, just the physicality of blood and the fact that women bleed, of course. And this is also the biggest sign of fertility. So, beautiful card. Let's see what the fairies have to say to you. What messages do they bring from your ancestors? Okay, 2 cards. Arval Parrot. Interesting that my voice was missing, and this card is specifically about communication. He's pointing at the throat, exactly the place where our vocal cords are. So something needs to be said, or there's something about communication here, having the strength to communicate. And death. 53 and 50. Okay. So something needs to be mourned. This is also in this reading, this transition into a new phase of your life, and something that has to be said. Maybe saying it or singing it, expressing it with your vocal cords is the way to let go. Or maybe you are being you are shutting down your communication Or you are being, you should be more generous with your communication. It can be the case. Oh, sorry, I want to get some cookware before, okay. Main person, can you see it? Huh. Okay. 7 of Pentacles. The High Priestess. The Knight of Wands. The Page of Pentacles. The Page of Swords. Sorry, the Chariot. Okay. 10 of Pentacles. 5 of Wands. The Knight of Swords. Seven of Cups. And the last card. The Seven of Swords. So, you know, this card, what strikes me about this card is the parrot. Main person usually means that this is the center of the reading. This is the main person in case you are a man. And it can be your main person, your main male character in your life if you are a woman. And this is very interesting because the parrot to me is like communicating from the other side. I also, okay, so I understand now. So this reading is just confirming that someone from the other side wants to speak. And it can use, he or she can use animals to do so. Insects, maybe. This is a moth. We had a spider around, so there's something that they need to tell us. Oh, and there she is. I can see her. She is, she's walking on a book. And let's see what she does next. Maybe it calls my attention. So I feel like there's a communication coming from animals that is from this person on the other side of the veil, this ancestor. And I feel like this reading is about two things: the life of that ancestor and how it's mirrored in yours. So I feel like this ancestor wants you to do something in the way that they know how to do, and also not repeat the errors. So with the Seven of Cups here, understanding what you're doing so that you don't repeat the errors from the past, and specifically the mistakes that this ancestor made. I also feel like this person this ancestor had some sort of spiritual lineage with the Ten of Pentacles here and the High Priestess. You are the one that inherited those characteristics and that connection to spirit. I don't want to say you are the chosen one, but it's you that just ended up, you know, being the one. I think it's quite the reverse, actually. I think you chose this. It's not it chose you. You chose this. It's the reverse. And I feel like this person is warning you that impulsiveness leads to conflict and that you should study. You should be learning. You should get advice. And that you should do things not deceiving others, but that you shouldn't reveal what you are doing. Here with the Seven of Swords, I feel like you can't really talk about. Yeah, this might also be an advice to be careful with what you say, because impulsiveness and showing off will make you feel bad. Maybe it's even showing off these skills that you have. It will make you feel bad, and it will make other people feel bad. And it will miss the point. I feel like you have to study carefully, do that work, inspect what you are doing carefully, listen to something that I feel like he's looking at the parrot and he's like listening to what he has to say, and the parrot is really joyfully just yapping away. I feel like he's also happy, like, with what he's listening. So maybe you are now happy with what you're listening, I hope. And so I also feel like this reading is urging you to be subtle, to understand the subtleties of a situation before you make a decision or before you take action. I think you're on the right track, because with the Seven of Pentacles here and the Chariot, you are doing what you need to do. And the Seven of Pentacles is about doing just exactly what you need to do, just enough, not overdoing things, not overspending, and not, you know, putting too much effort into something that is not really fruitful. Just taking exactly what you need, not more and not less. You are doing exactly what you need to do in the right measure. You have the skills to continue this legacy, but don't be impulsive. Don't just do things just to do things, you know. Be intentional, be mindful, have an understanding, have a plan, have a structure for yourself that keeps you on track. And also, I have this like suspicious mood here. I don't know if it's someone around you or if it's you that should be kind of vigilant. and know that you are still starting and that you have to consider different things, and some things might have like poison. Some things are good to have, some things you get to keep, some things you get to desire, but other things you should, steer clear. You should move away from. You shouldn't really indulge in. And be sly, be kind of hidden, cloaked here with this figure here. I feel like you should be cloaked, you should be camouflaged somehow. And this is the strength. This is where you get that strength from secrecy, of saying just enough, because the Seven of Pentacles is also near Arval. Listen. How did I not see that? Arval, parrot. Parrot. I mean, this is communication. This is what you say, or this is listening to what other people say also, because we know that the throat chakra is both communicating but also understanding what is communicated to you, is listening. It's also that ability of listening. And one thing that I understood recently through my practice is that your vocal cords are pretty much connected to your ears, because, and if you've had this, when you exert your vocal cords too much and it hurts, one of the symptoms is that your ears hurt. So listening and communicating is the same thing, actually, because you also listen to yourself, right? So I feel like your ancestors are urging you to focus on this part of your experience here. Communication, listening, talking, understanding, saying exactly what you need to say, just enough, not, oversharing, not expecting also, specific things to be said. Just be very frugal with communication, but also in a way exuberant. So because the parrot is an exuberant creature, it sings, it can speak in our human language and communicate with us. It's a colorful being. So it's like, I feel like there's this need to create a maneuver, like a diversion, so that people don't get to you, so that they're not confrontational with you, so they don't face you head on, and you have time to do things. So you have time to choose. And it's, okay, so really cool, because you'll be stronger. The point is that you are strong. The point is that you can move forward in your life, that you have the strength to face whatever adversity, be fearless. And this is the positive part of the center here, is that you are not facing other people and not battling other people in a way that just generates conflict. It's just that you have that strength. You don't have to constantly battle people to emanate that strength and to own that strength for yourself, so that you can use it for your endeavors and not in conflict with others. The King of Stones with wolf. Again, the singing, the howling, calling upon something. Maybe it's even using your voice to communicate with your ancestors, or to just use your voice to let them communicate with you, like singing, or just, like automatic writing, but with the voice. Just letting things flow, like channeling. The King of Cups with the heron. So there's this mystical energy to you that is inherited by, it is an inheritance. It came from this ancestor, and this is the immense rich, there's an abundance, there's a treasure here. It's like just waiting to be tapped into. Or maybe you are already doing it and you're kind of like discovering this somehow. Just keep on studying it, keep on discovering it, and deepening that bond with this resource that you have. Oh, wow. The King and the Queen. So Queen of Vessels, Salmon. It can be an effort, right? Uphill battle. The salmon it can swim against the current. So if you are underwater, you can not be a target. Only when you come outside that you can become a target, and maybe you will have these people, picking at you. The Eight of Vessels, rebirth. So yeah, moving on to a different stage of your life. There's a change in the waters. These two. The Nine of Stones with tradition, and the Six of Bows with abundance. So if you keep that connection with this specific ancestor, with this spiritual legacy, you will create this abundance for you. Sorry. Again, my voice. So you will create this abundance for you. Can you see all the fruits and vegetables? I don't know if there's flowers and everything. It's like everything is in your cave so that you can enjoy it. And also there's the fires. The fire is running and it's very intense and strong. It's a home. So it's ready for the party, right? It's like preparing the space to receive people, to receive that abundance from people, also to share with people. It's like hosting a party, right? So do things covertly for now. Don't reveal too much. Don't make yourself into a target. And have this change before you create that space. Allow this change to happen. Allow this change in the waters, in your own blood maybe even, to happen, because it's a preparation for a celebration. And then you can mark this period of your life like, okay, I have transitioned from this part of my life into the other part of my life, where I am going to be really a different person. Because there's a lot of letting go here with the death, and there's a lot of transformation that is occurring here. and it's spiritual and emotional. Especially in those areas, you will be very different. There's a clear mark here that is going to, this is the place of the turning point, the place of the turning point. But I think also that there's a specific information that is coming. There's also a bird here. And it's the Knight of Swords. So I'm going to try to understand, sorry, what this information, what this specific information can be. Can we know a little bit more about that? Okay. I feel like it's something about where you live. The 10 of Stones with home. I think this is something about where is your home? Where do you consider yourself at home? And this information is life-changing for you. It's something about where you live. It might also be something about the place where you are now inhabiting. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's something that's connected to your ancestors. Or maybe you should kind of, maybe investigate about the place where you live, like the past. How was it in the past? What it was before you went there? Or maybe even if it's an old place, get some history about the place. Something changes about where you live. It might also be the case that when you change, when you as a person change, you will also change where you live. You will also relocate here, because the 8 of Cups is searching of a new dimension, of a new feeling about things. So this might also be the case, that you change where you live. It's really interesting. And maybe this is also the place where you can, once you change where you live, you can create this celebration. This is where you can really transition in your life, where you can finally transform into this moth or butterfly. And you can say, okay, I am now a different person. I am now in a different place in my life right now. Very interesting. Thank you so much for this. If you also enjoyed the reading, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share the video if it resonated with you. I hope to see you again very soon. Bye. And happy Halloween.